everybody. Thanks for joining in with this spotlight. I'm with Markus Lenhard from Lux Altera. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was very good. Very good.
All right. He said I only get 3 strikes.
No, 1 strike.
Oh, 1 strike.
Yeah. Good job.
That must be the European in you.
Yes, the German especially.
The German.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So 3 strikes. You get 3 strikes, and then I'm gone. I'll walk away.
Okay. Yeah. So if he leaves the video at any time, I'll just wrap it up myself. And anyways, it is such a pleasure to be here. You know, I just started following you. I've been following Kaija for a while, and then I saw your work, and I'm just like, holy crap! Look at this work. This is amazing. And then when I found out you guys were together, it was just I'm so thrilled to be here. Honestly.
Thank you. Yes,
yeah,
it's
so
really grateful to have you. Thank you.
Thanks for doing the interview. Thanks for contributing to the project. It's really important.
Awesome. No, we're excited.
Yeah,
we're excited to contribute to your project. Sorry, I'm Canadian now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll correct you.
Okay. Oh no, good.
You get 3 strikes.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, so when I do these interviews, I'm always curious, what would be your earliest memory of a tattoo? Like before you even started tattooing.
Okay. 1 second. So I remember this actually really clearly. When I think I was 11. And one day I was really close friends with one of my cousins, and we would go fishing together and all that kind of stuff. And he would come home one day. I think he was 15, and his mom allowed him to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
And he came home with this bald eagle. This is in Germany.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So I'll tell you why the bald eagle too. He came home with a bald eagle and an American flag.
Okay.
We're very German.
Yeah.
But there was something about it, right? So that this eagle was completely colored and was like full color. Was really well done. At least I remember as really well done. And then he had like the eagle was completely colored in white, like with white ink and everything. And I was just blown away. Mm-hmm. I didn't know anything about tattoos. I don't think I've ever seen a tattoo in real life. And I just watched it heal, you know. And so it was kind of a really visceral first impression of a tattoo. And I wanted a tattoo so badly at the time. And my dad had all these drawing things in his drawers, in his desk drawers, because he used to be a technical drawer for Brown.
Okay.
So it doesn't get any more German. And so he used to illustrate, or he used to do technical drawings of like electric shaving machines, like shaving devices and all that kind of stuff. And so he had these little pens that are like these tiny little pens to like for Indian ink, India ink, to draw with. And there was like this little button. This is like stuff from the 60s, like. And there was this little button at the end that would push a tiny thread through the tip of the pen to clean it out if there's any ink if there's anything coarse in there. Mm-hmm. And that thread would stick out just like 1 or 2 millimeters. And so I promptly took that thing. I was like, that would probably do the trick. And then I started tattooing myself. Okay. Immediately with 11, I did like a little pitchfork on the back of my hand.
Yeah,
it's still there.
Good place to hide it from your parents.
Exactly. No, like I did no shits given, right? And so yeah, because I was super into Slayer back then when I was 11 already.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's still there. That's a fond memory of mine. I don't remember my parents' reaction actually.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure they were unstoked. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then.
So you were 12 at the time?
I was 11 or 12 or something like that. Yeah, pretty early. And I think with 12, I was always bullied quite a bit in school. You know, not like in the most horrific way, but I had a hard time making friends. And there were definitely a couple of kids that, you know, picked on me a little bit. And because I'm a nerd and I have a loud mouth, always had a loud mouth. And I was little, I still am. And And then I started, well, first things first, started smoking.
Yeah.
Got a moped.
You had the tattoos, so you got to have all.
Well, started smoking, then I started tattooing before I started smoking, which is amazing.
Okay.
So then I started smoking, and then I made friends. Naturally, as you smoke, you become very, very cool.
Yeah.
Right? So then you make friends, and then those kids that were bullying me back then found out that I had this tattoo, and they were like, what the fuck? This guy is extremely cool.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get tattooed, and so I tattooed the fuck out of them.
Did you?
And watched them cry. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Okay.
And so back then, that was when I found out that tattoos make you extremely cool.
Yeah.
And so I had my goal right then. I didn't really have had a different goal than that. That's what I wanted to do, and I didn't do it before I was 24.
Yeah.
Actually, because I'm also very scared of consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. It's reminiscent of my own story because I started hand poking when I was 10.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and I knew. Like, so after you did that, did you know, like, this is what I'm doing? Like, for me, it was like automatic.
I mean, as much as a 12-year-old can like be that focused on a long-term goal, right? I would say so. Like whenever somebody would ask me, I was like, I'll be a graphic designer. I'll do something with art. I'll do something with something creative because I was drawing a lot.
Yeah.
And my mom told me I was very good at it. And so, of course, that means you're very good at it. And so I kept drawing and I kept drawing. And then at some point, I think when I was 16, 17, I wanted to move away from home, like quite early, because my home there was a lot of stuff going on back then. So I moved out at 17, I think I moved out. And then I just had to work. And I was scared. I was scared of the implications of becoming a tattooer. That would have been in 1997.
Yeah.
When I was 17. So I was a little bit scared of like the implications of what it means to become a tattooer, like bikers, like that whole thing scared me because I'm a little nerd,
Yeah.
so I didn't really see myself how I fit into that. Plus my family is pretty well off. Like I'm not coming from like a poor background or anything like that. So I was never in contact with anything like that. So it was scary. It was just really scary. And so I didn't do that. I did a bunch of other stuff. I worked construction. I don't really have any formal degrees in anything. I didn't finish high school, dropped out of that. And so I moved to the city, Berlin, back then, and just started working, just started doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so you start hand poking, you shelf it for a while, and at what point did the idea sort of resurface and you gravitate to getting into this again?
Well, as soon as I was able to make enough money to get my own tattoos and actually be in contact with real tattooers, that's kind of when I learned, okay, like what kind of dude do you have to be, right?
Yeah.
Like, can I be that dude? And then you get more tattoos and you meet other tattooers and you meet more tattooed people. And then more and more I was like, okay, maybe I can be this guy. And then you buy tattoo magazines and you do your research and you do all that kind of stuff and you kind of find out what kind of tattooing do you even want to do. Like you have to learn that there's like different kinds of tattooing, right? Because it's just a very blurry idea in the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. And then it's like, oh yeah, you have to kind of know what kind of tattoos you want to do, or like, where do you see yourself? Like, can you make that happen? It's all pretty scary when you're that young. And when I was 24, and I think a lot of people that age, they have like this feeling of like, I have to stop fucking around. I'm going to die one day.
Yeah.
That kind of like you come online as a grown up, like right around that time, 23, 24, 25, 26, I don't know. But I hear that all over and over from people that age, that they're like, oh, there's this sense of urgency all of a sudden, you kind of have to do something.
In Canada, it's 47, but...
Yeah. Okay, well, this is why I'm here. Yeah.
So then, like, tell me about your first tattoo, though. Like, you go in and what did you get? Who did the tattoo?
I got my first tattoo when I was 18. And I think I begged my mom for money for it. Because my mom, she knew about, like, my cousin, what I told earlier. Like, he got his first tattoo when he was 15. So my mom didn't hear me shut up about it until I was 18. And I was legally allowed to get a tattoo. In Germany, you have to be 18, right?
Yeah.
And so my first real tattoo, I was like, I'm going to make a very strong point. And I got it on the side of my head. I got this really extremely cool tribal with like a dragon eye in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going for it.
Yeah. That was 98. So there's like tribal was the shit. Right.
How did we, hold on.
Yes.
You don't have a tattoo and you're bugging your mom for a tattoo and you rock a head tattoo? Like, that's badass.
Yeah, my mom is...
You were talking about being afraid earlier? I think that's kind of fearless.
No, my mother has a lot of damage because of it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I love that. That's a great story.
Yeah. And, you know, at this point now, like, I still have it, you know, like, at this point.
Obvious.
It's
permanent.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so I feel like I wish I could hide it now.
Okay.
You know, it's like I wish I could, like, be incognito as a tattooer now.
Yeah.
Like, because there's so much other stuff that I like to do that has nothing to do with tattooing. And I just wish that sometimes I could just be completely, like, look completely untattooed.
Yeah.
So that is also the only tattoo that I regret a little bit. It's a good story.
It's a great story.
But it's also, like, the tattoo that I do regret a little bit.
Just for my own curiosities, why the head? Why did you...
I had the sides of my head shaved. I had super long hair. It was a metalhead.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna get laid.
Oh, yeah? There's that.
Yeah. It didn't get laid.
No, it didn't happen. You're too scary.
Yeah. Scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scared. Yeah.
So after you get your head tattooed, how many more tattoos did you get before you finally got the courage to start, like, getting a machine? Or
I think when I was 19, I started a back piece, which is way cooler than the head tattoo.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my wife over there because she's already laughing. So I got my back tattoo done. And that got me involved with the guy that did it, like, for a while, because back tattoos take a little bit, right? And so we got talking, and I drew it myself. That was the big thing, because I wanted to impress my tattoo artist. That was like the whole idea behind it, right? So you impress that guy, you know, he wants to do your tattoo. Well, that's the first tattoo that I have drawn for myself. I felt like that was a really good idea, wasn't it? It was not a good idea. So and then I got into talking with him. The other thing that I did at the time was, do you know, like, Warhammer? Maybe, yeah, okay. So they have these little figurines.
That's right.
And you paint them.
You paint them up. Yeah.
So I did a lot of that. I did a lot of that for friends of mine. I would, like, paint whole armies and go to the games workshop and steal a bunch of stuff and then bring it home, paint it, and sell it to my friends, right? And he really liked my work. Like, my tattoo artist really liked my work. And so he was like, hey, like, I have this big thing. Do you want to paint it for me? And I was like, and then if you paint that and leave me that, you can have this machine. Okay. Yeah. So that was a microdial, I think. Like, my first...
A Mickey Sharps?
Mickey Sharps microdial, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was, as a liner, perfect, because that's all you need. Pretty much. Well, I didn't know shit about shit, right?
Yeah.
So I was thrilled, you know. And so he gave me this machine. I painted that thing up. It was really cool. And so I got this machine, and I had a lot of very irresponsible friends.
Yeah.
Who were super happy to let me tattoo them, so I didn't have to do a lot of tattooing on myself. And so I went to town on them a little bit. And that was, like, very sporadic, though, because scared.
Yeah.
Right? And it's hard.
But where did you source all the other stuff, like ink and...
Well, from that guy. Yeah. From that guy. Yeah, he sorted me out with just a little kit.
Okay.
I think he liked me.
Yeah.
Enough. And then we became friends, and we were friends until shortly before I moved to Canada. Actually, we hung out. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He
obviously he saw something in you to set you up with machines, but you kind of left me hanging on your back tattoo. So
right. So what I drew, I was really into dragons.
Okay.
And so I did this super Conan the Barbarian as a dragon.
Okay.
Right?
Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, Conan. Imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger as a dragon.
As a dragon.
As a dragon. Just instead of a dick, it's just abs all the way down across the tail. It's just abs.
32 abs.
Yeah, no more.
Yeah,
it's
hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds of abs. Yeah, hundreds of abs.
Okay.
All the way down, just buff, just 2 arms. And two arms, 2 wings,
wings.
Bicep everywhere. So 4 bicep.
Okay.
Because of the wings and the arms, thick neck and sinister look on his face.
Tell me you didn't cover that tattoo.
I did.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I had to.
We got it. We're done. We're done this one.
I wanted to get married, and so I had to cover that up.
Yeah.
Because Kaija kept calling it Trogdor the Burninator.
What'd she call it?
Trogdor the Burninator.
Okay.
So,
did Kaija cover it for you?
No, okay. Steve Moore did.
Okay.
Yeah. And we still have to finish it, but I got a little bit bogged down when moving here. There was COVID was in between that and now, and then. Moving here took a lot of my momentum out.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. But yeah, that was my back piece, and so that got me some equipment, and then I could start messing around with that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so how did your early days go when you first started monkeying around with that? Did it progress fairly quickly, or did you struggle a lot? What was your experience?
I think I progressed pretty quickly for not having a mentor. I kind of figured it out, and then that same tattooer got me into a shop. Okay. After I did a couple of pieces, took photos of it, he got me into a shop. But it wasn't an apprenticeship. It was just a place where I could tattoo my friends. Mm-hmm. And there was this guy working at that shop who introduced me to Guy Aitchison's work. Because he saw my drawings and he saw that I like horror, biomech, demon face stuff. And he introduced me to Guy Aitchison's work. And then I was like, oh, shit, that's allowed? Mm-hmm. That's possible. So, okay, that's what I want to do. That's pretty awesome. And I think then I moved pretty quick.
In what year would that have been?
That would have been... that would have been 2003.
Okay, so Guy Aitchison would have had a little traction by then.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there were a couple of pieces that he did that blew me away. Mm-hmm. And then I moved to the Netherlands right after, because I met my ex-wife. I met her, and she was from the Netherlands, and I wanted to get out of Germany at that point. Anyways, I never felt like I really belong in that culture.
Okay.
And so I wanted to get out of there, and I wanted to have a complete fresh start, right? I was pretty depressed at the time because I was in all of these different kinds of jobs that all didn't really work out for me. And now I started to tattoo, and she kind of empowered me to do that. She was like, hey, if you want to do this tattooing thing, we can do that. But if you would live here with me, then I could, make that happen financially. And you could become a tattooer. Okay. And then, if that's what you want. And I was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. That sounds like a lottery win. Well, actually, yeah, right? Absolutely. And so I moved to the Netherlands, but I didn't know where to work. So I started at a piercing shop where I was the only tattooer. It was a pretty busy piercing shop, and it was only little walk-in kind of, tanning studio tattoos, basically. Yeah. And I did that for a while. Yeah. And that gets you to learn very fast. Oh, And because of Guy, I got the book Reinventing the Tattoo.
The Tattoo, yeah.
And that helped a bunch too.
Sure, yeah.
Right? So I did that for 3 years, and then I made sure, because like after meeting Guy, after like talking to Guy, we had back and forth over email. I was pretty sure that that's what I wanted to do. That's where I wanted to go. And so I understood also that if I want to get out of that shop, which was, costing me a lot of money because I was tattooing a lot at that time. I would go like 6-7 days a week. Most of the time I would do like 3 or 4 or 5 tattoos a day. So I made a bunch of money back then. But like we started out with like 50% shop cut. And then it went down to 40, 30. And then she was offering me 20, my boss there. And I was like, that's still... And I was looking around at like other shops, something that I could rent. And I was like, that's still like 3 times as much as what I can like just rent myself,
Yeah.
And so it was just a no-brainer to me to just rent something. And
were there a lot of other shops that...
Not
around?
too much.
I wouldn't think so.
Not too much. And I wanted to run a private studio anyways. I didn't want to have a walk-in shop. I wanted to have a private studio because I took care that I had clientele that only wanted to come to me. Back then already, that I made sure that I bring something to the table.
Now, for Europe, is that ahead of the curve? Like, were there other people doing private studios? Because here,
a little bit, but
that would have been ahead.
I think it was ahead
before
of the curve.
Its time.
Yeah, I didn't really look. I didn't really communicate a lot with other European tattooers.
Okay.
Because I knew that that's not they're not like the cutting edge at that moment. Like the cutting edge was in the States, and so. I like to travel to the States and go to conventions, see what's going on, and communicate with American. Like I was on forums, I ran the hyperspace forum for Guy for a while when he was too busy. And
you ran the hyperspace forum?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I sold Reinventing for him in Europe too.
Okay.
Yeah. And we became really good friends super fast. Like we have like a lot of similar interests.
Okay. Yeah. It's funny you said the Americans were cutting edge, because I always felt like the Europeans were cutting edge.
I guess the grass is always greener.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I always thought like they seemed to be ahead of the curve on a lot of things.
Well, all the magazines came usually, like most of the magazines came from the States, or at least the magazines that came from the States. You were looking at, you're like, wow. Like that's very different. Like in Germany, especially in Eastern Germany, where I was living, it was all just black and gray horror stuff. That's what everybody wanted to do. I mean, that's kind of where I cut my teeth with biomech too.
Okay.
Paul Booth was huge in Berlin at the time. Huge.
Yeah.
And tribal. And then you take horror and tribal, you have biomech pretty much right there, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, I found out that color can be really, really cool too. But nobody did color. Yeah. Like, I didn't know anybody who would mess with color, right? So, and in the Netherlands, there were a couple that would mess with color, but it wasn't really the style I was interested in, right? Yeah. And so, I didn't really look there. I always looked overseas to see what was going on. It was just more exciting. Plus, a lot more friendly too. Like people are just much more open, compared to where I was at, and so that was just really fun for me, and I learned a lot just going over to the States. And then I brought some of those ideas back because it was very unconventional to start a private studio with like closed doors and just no advertising on the outside or anything like that. Nobody knew what was going on behind those doors. That was cool to me. Yeah. Right. And I made sure that I have the clientele that would keep me afloat. But then also I didn't have to tattoo that much anymore because my rent was low.
That's right.
And so I didn't have to like go crazy. So the thing that happened was like I tattooed 3 times a week, 3 days a week, and the rest of the time I used for drawing.
Yeah.
So I could actually like improve my artistry, let's say, right? I could become a better artist. Yeah. Because tattooing was going okay, but I could become a better artist.
Yeah.
Right. So That's what I was
that's fascinating. Yeah, that's really cool. And then, so did you move over to the States?
No.
Okay, so you stayed in.
We stayed in the Netherlands, for 8 years total. Okay. About 8 years. Yeah, I think we moved back at the end of 2010. We moved back to Germany. Mm-hmm. We had a kid. Just 2 years into my tattoo career, became a father. Mm-hmm. That was hard because there was a lot of things, like in that very short time of like me being 24 to 26. A lot of shit happened, right? Like I started tattooing. I moved to another country, learned another language, changed my whole social circle, became a father. You know, that was a lot of stuff. So that was like a little bit of PTSD almost from that time, where you think you're the shit, but you're not really that great at anything at the same time. And so I picked a thing, which was tattooing at the time. And then you can only be so much of a good father though, right? So then that's also very important. It just all was a lot. And I think that's why we needed to move back to Germany, because I became quite depressed, not being like where I felt like at home. And then you move back and you're not at home there either. So
did it stifle your career? Did it set you back?
I don't think
going
so.
back to Germany?
No, I don't think so. I think it was good.
Okay.
I think it was good. We did it so, and that was my first home studio then too. No, we did it. We rented a house. We had a whole house, and it has a full basement. And I just put a tattoo studio in the basement right away. And that worked out right away. I mean, in the Netherlands, I already had people traveling from the States to come and get tattooed.
Okay.
Right. And so, and then from Russia, and there were like people coming from all over the place to get tattooed by me.
And was that because you were in Guy's peripheral at the time? Was he promoting your work?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's one of the most generous people I know, honestly. Like, he doesn't really believe in ownership of art and styles and all that kind of stuff. And I tried to be like him a lot.
Yeah.
And that really didn't make me happy at all. You know, that's like one of the crises that I went through that was really humbling at the time, right? Like, I think like that was around 2006 or something, where I was like, I don't think I can do biomech.
Yeah.
You know, and then I had to try doing something else.
Well, your spin on biomech is just like, it's so interesting to look at, and you know, it's so smooth and flowing and tight. Like, the work is so technically tight.
Thank you.
It's impressive.
Thank you. That was one of the things that really like turned me around back then, because you say that right now, like, tight, right? Because I didn't see that any of the biomech out there in the back then, except maybe Aaron Kane, had like really tight biomech, but it was also very graphic.
Yeah. Yeah, his
wasn't
is
really
like
my thing.
illustrative.
Very illustrative.
Yours still looks painterly but tight.
Yeah, and I wanted something between Guy and Aaron. I wanted to do something in between, you know, because I love both of those styles, but I found it really hard to mesh.
Yeah.
Right. And so I needed to do something in between. And when I stopped doing biomech, because I got too frustrated with like trying to solve that problem, I got on the Tattoodles forum, which used to be the Reach Street forum.
Okay.
And those were pretty tough people. Yeah. And they did not like biomech at all.
So they were shredding you.
Yeah. And they were shredding everybody who came with biomech on that, because that's not a real tattoo. Yeah. I was like, okay, if I can impress these guys, if I can do something that impresses these guys, that should be a win.
Yeah.
Right? That was just a math for me. And so I was like, all right, I got into drawing more Japanese style art. You know, especially learning to draw water well, to draw finger waves well. All the elements, basically. Water, fire, wind, all that kind of stuff. Because it was hard. That was actually the hardest thing I've ever done, like art-wise, back then, like figuring that out. And then, but once I figured it out, it changed everything for me. All of a sudden, I had an understanding of flow, and of ratio, and of harmony, and aesthetic, and all that kind of stuff, right?
Sure.
And stylizing, like complex things. And so that changed everything. And then I did like 1 or 2 pieces. One of them was that wing sleeve. Everybody started calling it the wing sleeve. And I posted that on Tattoodles, and they all were like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
That was amazing, because they were like, this is biomech, but I like it. There's something wrong. Right. And I was like, fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I won a tattoo machine on Tattoodles because of that piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could win anything.
Yeah, they made Adam Sky back then. He did like all kinds of contests, right?
Okay.
Like, it was really cool. I love being on Tattoodles. It was like one of the harshest communities, but it made me grow so much. I think that harshness has been extremely good for me. And so I don't know. I feel like that was the point when everything turned around. That must have been around 2008.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
And things were really starting to amp up by 2008.
Yeah, between 2006
interest
and
in
2008.
tattooing, right?
Yeah, between 2006 and 2008, that was around the time when I had my first overseas clients.
Okay.
And people were coming out specifically for me to get tattooed, and that blew my mind. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
That would be possible. And then I had the idea. I was like, okay, I might as well just tattoo at home. Because I really don't need this whole shop setup.
Well, that's a marker and a milestone of success to when people are traveling over the ocean to get your work.
It's incredible. I couldn't believe it.
It would be, for me, it'd be just so incredibly humbling.
Yeah.
Like if the neighbor came across the street one time and got a tattoo by me, and I was blown away.
Yeah. That took me a second. Nice work.
Got you on that one.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah. No, that was crazy, because how do you react? How do you act?
Yeah,
you know,
right.
how it has to be different, right? Like that situation has to be different than somebody from the same city coming in to get a tattoo. But what am I going to do different? And so I came up with a bunch of ideas, like what can I have in this studio that makes people feel like they get special treatment?
Yeah.
Because they're treating me special.
Yeah,
right?
they've toiled for that. They've earned this tattoo
Exactly.
in a sense before they even arrive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
No,
so
I get
like I had to come up with like a bunch of things that I had to do differently from other tattooers.
Candy apples?
Candy apples are great. You can do the Aaron Kane thing with candy apples, where you engrave some biomech in them.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And then you snort everything that falls off. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Sugar
man,
high?
sugar, dude.
Yeah.
Sugar stuff.
I'm diabetic. I had to give up the sugar.
That's how it happened, didn't it, though?
Yeah. I was snorting candy canes.
Yeah, snorting candy canes. Fuck yeah. Way to go. Don't snort that stuff. Gets you diabetes.
Interview. Can you be serious?
No.
Okay.
No,
dude,
like I'm German, I have to fight such a strong stereotype.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't allow myself to
You're
be
a
too
funny
serious.
German. There's two things I don't like: racism and German people.
Yeah. See, for us, okay, you know what? I could make a joke here, but you're filming me. Goodness me. So, where were we?
I don't know.
We have to get away from this.
We're just messing around, having fun.
Yeah.
So how long? So the people were starting to come up from overseas to get your work, and that, like, again, I could see how that'd be so flattering and humbling, and
Yeah, it was crazy.
you're going to do something special. So what did you end up doing to make them feel like their efforts were worth all the toil and struggle?
I just did stuff in the studio that felt like they're coming into this place of peace and you know, and safety. So it had to be a home studio. Everything had to be comfortable. I didn't want them to have to move a muscle while they were getting tattooed. So the ergonomics had to be perfect. I had to make sure that they're warm, but in a way that I'm not sweating. So they wear heat blankets and stuff like that.
I love that.
Like TVs, you know, like there's a TV, you can watch TV while getting tattooed. You have your own set of headphones, so I can listen to something else. I have headphones, making that okay too, that I wear headphones while we're tattooing, because we're tattooing for 3 or 4 days, right? And so, like, even making that possible for people, just making them proud and just making sure that they get them through it. You know, there's a lot of amenities. My wash water, you know, my little squirt bottle
Warm it up.
It's on a heater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything smells good. Everything is fresh. They get a towel instead of paper.
Yeah.
You know, to put down on the bed, and like it's just like stuff like that I've started to do pretty early on. And I take a lot of time out of my day to talk with them and get to know them a little bit and pick them up from the airport if need be and drive them around and show them everything. Like I don't have any other clients in that week. If somebody comes to visit me from overseas, that's my week. That person is my week. And so
I didn't get any towels or anything. I came all the way from Ontario.
No, I haven't.
Well, you gave me a coffee. We got free coffee.
No. Like you can, you know, like complain to my lovely wife over there for not getting you a towel.
The coffee's amazing though.
Good.
She got the coffee. I thought
you got the coffee right. There you go.
She gets the coffee. You get the towel.
Yeah, I get the towel later. No. I can already tell.
all jokes aside, I really like what you're saying, and it's funny because early in my career, I became friends with a doctor, and he sort of looked at the process, and he explained to me, he said, Ned, if you give people all the amenities, make them feel calm and comfortable, the work is going to heal faster. The way you touch the client and approach them, if you touch them in a loving way, and they feel comfortable and safe.
In an appropriate way.
Yeah, no bad touches. But yeah, no more bad touches. Be nice, make a nice environment, but it has an impact on the work.
It 100%.
And did you notice that there was a shift in how things were healing? Yeah,
I would say so. If things go in easy, they heal easy.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
And I feel tension or skin, and not to sound too spiritual or anything, but I think a lot of like how we live our lives is expressed in the skin. That's where most of our immune system lives. It's in the gut and it's in the skin. Right? That's where the immune system kind of hangs out. And if you're a nervous person, you have a nervous immune system, and the nervous immune system makes for shitty skin to tattoo, and we all know that, you know. And so there's definitely something about, and you can't make the perfect environment for everybody. But for the people that get tattooed by me, they're very close to me anyways, because people who like biomech or like that style of tattooing, that's a very specific kind of person, because it's a very specific type of tattoo. And I feel that I'm extremely privileged by my clientele and the people that come to see me. There's still most people that come here are traveling to come here, if not like 99% of them. And I feel like with like almost all of them, I feel like we're like so aligned in our interests. Always.
Well, you're attracting a certain type, right?
Yeah.
And when you provide a service that goes above and beyond, you're gonna attract people that will appreciate that. And
I think so. It's like a beacon a little bit, right? But it's also, if your tattoo, if your art really reflects you very honestly, if you do what you do very honestly, if your style, you came by your style, like through like these kinds of things that make it really your style, and it's very personal and it's very honest. I think I said it now 3 times.
I caught that bit.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But then you get people that you can really connect with in that way, I think, because they really come to you for you.
Yeah.
And then you get really people that have that connection with you, or that like at least the chance of that is a lot higher.
Well, yeah, and I have that with my clients. They're not clients, they're friends. And there is a really strong connection, and it all washes into this much bigger experience that unfolds for them. And I'm busy as a result of it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And how busy do you have to be in that case? That's a pretty good way to live.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty good way to work. And I've burned myself out on tattooing a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because I was doing it with that intensity in the beginning and all the distraction. And I just had to be like, oh, no. This is my dream job. I cannot fuck this up for myself. I cannot like write this in a way that makes it terrible. And so I always kind of stood true to the way that I wanted to do this, and didn't really make any what would you say? I don't know. I just didn't really ever felt like underselling, what it is that I wanted to do. Or undermining is probably the better word. By doing stuff, it's like, oh shit, I have to make money. I better do. If it takes away from the quality of the experience, I won't do it. And that means my experience and my customer's experience. And so for me, a home studio is the only way to do it, because then I can get away with like not paying shop rent, having a way smaller overhead, like writing off part of the mortgage and all that, or the part of the rent, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that way you can just get away with tattooing a lot less. And then you can filter. And
yeah, I moved home like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And just, it's so amazing.
Night and day, right? I mean, your art improves. Everything, your life improves.
Well, mine hasn't been.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for the dig.
It could have.
Okay, so
It could have
how
done.
long did you end up tattooing in Germany before you had sights on coming to Canada? What was the next move?
I think it was 7 years.
So 7 years.
7 years is when my marriage fell apart.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was never like very, very safe. Like we always had our problems, but I think after 7 years, you're in that country, you're not happy. You move to the other country, you're not happy there. And then at some point you ask yourself, like, what is it really that makes me unhappy? Right. And then my marriage fell apart. And I very shortly after met Kaija. We met online.
Okay.
And fell in love. And that was pretty turbulent time.
Yeah.
But that felt perfect right away. Because I looked at her stuff, I looked at her art, and I was like, oh, this dude has really figured out. He really understands biomech really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because chicks don't do biomech, and so
she does.
And yeah,
You ever seen her work?
Well, yeah. And then I noticed like, oh, that's a chick.
Yeah.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
so pretty shortly after, she messaged me about getting a tattoo from me.
Okay.
And she was going to come over to get tattooed, which I don't think my wife would have been very thrilled about. And so I didn't tattoo her until last year. I think my ex-wife is over it. So it felt safe.
So what year did you end up coming here then?
3 years ago. When was that? 2021 or 22? 21? Yeah.
Okay. So this is pretty new for you then to be
Oh,
over
yeah.
here.
Yeah. But I've kind of been like on this trajectory like my whole life. We moved around a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we moved around with my parents quite a bit within Germany when I was a kid. And then moving to the Netherlands and moving back to Germany. And it's like it's culture shock time every couple of years for me. So I certainly felt that here.
Yeah.
But I knew what I was in for. I knew what was coming, so I could prepare for it properly. And I think I adjusted pretty well.
Yeah.
So I'm super happy here, and I don't want to be anywhere else. So, and we have a beautiful house now. We have a home studio. That took a while. That was hard. Not having that for a while was harder than moving across the world for me. Like not having a home studio, not doing it the way that I wanted to do it. That was harder for me than not being in Germany and not being surrounded by Germans. That is probably the easiest thing about this, is not being surrounded by Germans. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you felt more at home with Canadians and
I do.
Americans and
Yeah. I really like Canadians. Canadians is as far as I know, as far as I have seen so far, it's been a wonderful experience. People are very easy to talk to. It's easy to make friends. We have a fantastic friend group. We have a really good community here on the island.
But you know I'm German, right?
Couldn't have.
I'm just fucking with you. Got you on that one.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I got him. I totally got him. Did I get him? I got him,
You
right?
guys have the same humor.
Yeah. Yeah. That can be amazing or it can be awful.
It'd be awfully amazing.
Once the camera is on,
Actually.
it's probably going to get really awful.
Yeah. You can't come to my next interview. I might have to.
Oh,
be
with my
serious.
wife?
No, like after I leave here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it might have to be serious, but I'm not sure. I always have to gauge that when I walk in the door.
Yeah.
But I crossed the threshold here, and I thought this is really nice.
Good.
And I immediately felt comfortable to be my idiot self. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Idiots fist bump here.
Yeah, idiots unite.
Fantastic.
All right, we got this.
Sweet.
We went to another level of bonding right there.
Yeah, with the fist bump.
With the fist bump?
Yeah. Yeah, I learned that in Rotterdam, the fist bump.
So you come over to Canada and you are with Kaija, and how has her work influenced yours? And I'm going to ask her the same question.
Well,
or has it?
Yes, it has. Absolutely.
It would have to.
It
Right?
absolutely has. I think she has an elegance to her work that enables her to like make this very specific style appeal to women that I have never been able to do.
Well, that's one of the things that I admire the most about her work is this goddess type feminine energy that's in there, but it's got a toughness to it, but it's soft, and it so encapsulates that feminine polarity.
I agree
so well. Like, and I again, that's my biggest draw to her work is that strong sense of balanced feminine energy in the work.
Yeah, no, she absolutely has that. So I had a lot to learn about that, and conscientiousness, just like working a lot harder and just like being a lot more like deliberate with certain things too. She draws a lot. I don't draw a lot. I tattoo and I draw on people. That's what I like to do, but not in my free
Well, her
time.
work is a little bit better than yours, so that makes sense.
Yeah, right? So her, like watching her draw on almost a daily basis did not make me draw more, but it certainly gave me the opportunity to steal from her a lot.
Okay.
That
so you pick little
life,
things.
Yeah, right. Like I could not
lovelies.
afford a house like this coming to Canada by myself, and I get to steal, creatively from my wife too. So I'm doing pretty good.
And that's just it, right? Because you take the little lovely bits that you like of hers, added in, and then it sort of kind of can flow back and forth.
Yes, but then also she's been stealing from me for years. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it's pretty good. And at this point, like we are getting to a point where I don't like to draw in my free time. She draws all the time. I like tattooing more than anything, and so like we had this idea is like, why don't you draw and I tattoo? Like for some clients, I would love to do more illustrative work. I'm just not really going to try. Like I have other stuff that in my life that I like to do with my time.
Yeah.
And so, but I can tattoo really good. And so if you want to draw and I can tattoo it, that'd be pretty good teamwork too. And then we both be a lot, because she has more requests than she can like actually tattoo all the time.
Okay.
Because
so
she's
collaborating together.
Yeah, because she's got all these different jobs.
Yeah.
Right? Paying for all the stuff that I need because I don't work all the time.
Yeah.
So
sugar mama.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Yeah. That's great. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is mine.
Your work is really inspiring too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. I can speak
that was
for
great.
We had a lot of laughs. That was
It's like I got.
Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day.